Hi, I'm Julie Parker. I'm a Houston entrepreneur and meetup organizer for four different local Houston meetup groups. The focus of those groups is to empower people in sales and networking, but within different industries. So one of my missions is to help people when I meet different people that have really interesting topics that will help my members that would be of interest and benefit to them. I like to bring them in to speak. So today I have somebody who has a very unusual, unique, and fascinating concept, and I wanted to just bring her on video before you attend so that you could see if it's something of interest to you and that would benefit you or a friend of yours or maybe a colleague. So today I have here with me Gwen Foster, who is owner of New Vision. Is it New Vision Software? Or tell us a little bit about it's New Vision USA. Mm-hmm. Okay. So Gwen, welcome, and thank you for being here with me today to help describe what it is you're going to be talking about next week.
Thanks, Julie. So it is an interesting and hard thing to explain in an email, and I find this all the time. My website is www.newvisionusa.com, and that's NU, so people can get like a little look if they want before the talk next week. But the talk next week is a little bit different than the talks I normally do. I usually am talking about health, and I'm a health coach. I'm a naturopathic doctor. But what I've also been doing for almost 20 years is being a coach. And being a coach means not always just related to health issues, but business issues, real estate issues, psychological issues, even like what I call like deprogramming. And that's really what we're going to get into next week with the business, how that relates to business. Because a lot of times I think it's not just the sales pitch. It's not just the sales approach. It's not that someone doesn't have a great business. But I think sometimes they have things in their way that maybe they don't even know is in their way. And this can, trickle down to their limiting beliefs, their psychological programming, things that have happened to them in the past. But sometimes it's their employees. Sometimes it's family members as employees. Sometimes it's a house on the market that has some emotions tied into the sale. Sometimes it's these things that we can't really put our finger on that are in the way. And an example I like to use is like, with all these tests, like psychological profile tests, anyone that is halfway intelligent knows how to answer these questions to get. And
they can also psych them out too and kind of make them have the outcome that they want.
Well, exactly.
That's questions.
What I'm saying is if you want a sales job, you don't check the box that says you'd prefer to stay home reading a book at night. Right. Anyone that's taken that test more than once knows that depending on the position you're applying for. So, when we get into what New Vision can do, I can very quickly, and I'll demonstrate this at the talk next week, is I can very quickly get into that psychological behavior. And if you think about it, even in true psychology and psychotherapy, it could take years to get to core issues that someone might be dealing with, whether it's shame or grief,
exactly.
guilt, or whatever, low self-esteem. Someone can look on the outside great. They can interview great. They can have that personality that someone likes, but on the inside, they could be a train wreck. And it's really that. And sometimes people are just like also in the wrong positions. Like I said, sometimes like one thing I see a lot is like when family members are involved, there's some kind of responsibility or caretaking, or there's this loyalty because of a long-time employee that it really isn't best suitable for that position in the company. But they're there because they've been there a long time, but they could actually be working against the outcome of the company. And then in real estate, I want to just cover this because you and I have talked about real estate a lot.
And can I just say, this is really fascinating.
Okay. Well, with real estate, it's even more fascinating because there is a house holds information. It holds the fights. It holds the kids don't want to change schools. It holds this information that isn't really about the price. And I know that a lot of people think that if the house is priced right, it's going to sell. But sometimes you're really
staged right or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Or staged right or,
right.
Painted well or yeah.
Yeah. But a lot of times money is left on the table because they're not considering other parts of the sale of the house, the part that has to do with the psychology. I mean, really it all goes back to psychology. And so, what if on every sale of a house, you could make 10 to 20% more related to sales and in revenue and income and commission.
Tell me, that wouldn't be a benefit right there.
Well, exactly. But that's where, I'm not going to say anything negative against realtors, but they generally think if it's priced right, it's going to sell.
Yeah.
And as we all know from personal experience and what's on the market is houses are on the market year, 2 years, 3 years, even if they're priced right, or even if they're priced within what they should be priced. And so there's a lot of other factors.
Other than stats. Yes.
Yes. And so what if in 5 minutes, I'm so excited about next week, because what about in 5 minutes, if I could look at a business, a person, a house, and get into that nitty gritty stuff, like that stuff that really, makes an impact. And I want to share one quick story, because this was probably one of the most impactful things that I have ever experienced. Some people in Houston, well, probably many people in Houston know her. Her name's Dr. Nancy White. I've had the privilege and even luxury to work with her at a very deep level in Houston. She does these groups called it's called Keys. It used to be called Pairs. And I've been able to sit through a 12-week process with her psychological clients, her relationship clients, to really see their personality and where it is, that first week of defensive and I don't want to be here, and like this is a waste of time, to then that change over 12 weeks as you get into some like deep-seated stuff. And I think that taught me a great deal about, this was a long time ago now, but this taught me a great deal about human psychology and how I can map it, how I can see it and map it and say, this is what's affecting you. And the last thing I want to say before we get into the, details for next week is that a lot of times too, people have issues that they have dealt with, like they think they've dealt with, that have to do with like childhood or whatever, like ex relationship, divorce, whatever the issue is. Mm-hmm. And what I see a lot is it's not resolved. So sometimes I'll tell someone, that their issue with business or their issue with relationships is something they encountered as a child or something that was something a long time ago. And they're like, oh no, I've already dealt with that. I went through 10 years of psychotherapy for that. And I'm like, sorry, I'm the one to tell you it's not resolved. It's still there in the background, because what I find too is that it's not just talking about it is what resolves it, but it is important to understand it and how it relates to not just, things like depression, anxiety, and health conditions, but every aspect of moving forward, success. Sometimes people get to a plateau with business where they just can't get past that level. They just can't get to the next level.
Exactly.
So we're going to be talking
and
about.
Don't know why. Yeah.
They don't know why. Right. Exactly. But maybe it's that was their father's income threshold.
Or maybe they think they just have to work harder or push harder or like talk to more people or whatever. It's like, okay, you're not working hard enough. You're not doing this, but there's something underlying that's holding them back.
Right. Or maybe they're working too many hours and it's time management issues, or it's other stuff, that avoidance issues or whatever it is, but everyone is different. And you can't categorize them and all say, oh, well, all these people have the same issue. Or right. You can't say, well, this person.
It's not cookie cutter. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You can't just lump workaholics together and people that have time management issues together. There's something in their psyche that is making all this happen. And so, we're going to get into some actual cases or situations where we can really demonstrate this and get into, well, why is this happening? What's the underlying core theme here? So anyway.
Then what to do about it too, yes?
Yes, what to do about it.
Okay.
And that's the thing, is that all of this would be like, well, whatever, if we don't have a solution. So we have to have a solution, because if we don't have a solution, then it's just more information with no positive outcome.
Right. And Gwen, you created the software?
I created the database. My program is Doug,
okay.
And I created the database, and I do custom databases as well, like for real estate, business coaching, HR,
agriculture, farming, right?
Yeah, agriculture, farming, even like there's some sports team stuff. There's even like archetype information and things like that. It makes more sense when people can see that. But if someone wants to take a look before next week and just take a look at some of the things that the software offers, like I said, it's on the New Vision website, www.newvisionusa.com.
And then you're going to do a demonstration when you speak next week, yes?
Yes, and I guess we're asking for someone to come forward that wants.
Oh yeah, if we have a realtor or like a salesperson or a business owner or maybe a health type of a thing, send me a message in MeetUp, or if you know me, send me an email message. Actually, send me a MeetUp message, or when you get there, let me know when you get there, when you sign in and register. But for those who have not already registered, who have an interest in this is huge, and it's so fascinating and very effective, I might add. So if you are interested and you haven't already registered, please do so. There will be a link in this email. If you have a friend or colleague who would like to attend as well that you think might benefit from this, please bring them, register them, give them the link to register so we have a head count, because we want to make sure we have enough chairs. And the name again is Clients Moving Forward, Sales, High Tech to Untie Knots and Obstacles in Business. So the date again is September 12th, which is next Wednesday evening. It's from 6:30 till 8:30. It's in Houston, Texas. It's around the area of West Park and Hillcroft. And the details are in the link that will be attached to register. So we look forward to seeing you. Again, if you're interested in having a scan or having a demo on your specific case or situation, let us know in advance so we can get that coordinated and set up. And we look forward to having you. Okay. Bye, everybody. Take care. See you then.
Thanks, Julie.
You're welcome. Thanks, Gwen, for being here with us.